Hello, hello, hello. This is Angela Logan bringing you more shenanigans on this warm and humid day, September 20th, 2019, East Tennessee. All right. I want to try to bring you a story that is deriving out of Detroit, Michigan. If you're not into true crime, you can bypass this video, but this is for those who want to stay in the know. I bring you a little bit of everything. So if you're not into true crime, murder, mayhem, this won't be the video for you. Right now, there's a gentleman in Detroit who is being dubbed as a serial killer, and he is a young black African-American man, and he has been linked to several older women who have been found murdered in abandoned buildings on the east side of Detroit. And this is the information that was reported. His name is Deangelo Kenneth Martin, 34 years of old. The recent charges that he is being accused of is one count of assault with intent to murder a 26-year-old woman, name withheld for obvious reasons. 4 counts of first-degree criminal assault, which was an incident that took place at 1:40 a.m. on May 7th in the 1900 block of Barton. And also, the first one of his killings, she got away. So this young lady who obviously he assaulted, she was able to get away from him, and it took place in an area where one of the first murders took place. So, kind of interesting. So I can see how they're trying to tie that all together. 3 women have been reported dead. A fourth one was allegedly raped and I guess got away. And he's connected to 2 additional cases, and the authorities say he was spotted in Ferndale last year with one of the missing women. Now, I'm going to give you a little information on that situation. A year ago, the police came in contact with him and a lady. They were both drunk, public intoxicated in a public place. So naturally, they talked to them, got their information. She was given a citation. He was not. They said they seemed friendly toward one another. She didn't seem like she was in fear of her life, so they sent them on their way. Now, fast forward weeks later, this lady was reported missing. So he was last seen with her in Ferndale. So this is how they're tying him into this lady. And obviously, they probably have a body that's been found, and I guess it's a matter of doing DNA, I guess, to give her a name, and that way they can tie in uh, him to this one lady who's been reported missing, and you know no one's heard anything about her. So everything's about DNA and this and that, and really a terrible situation going on up there in Detroit. But right now, at the moment, Detroit Police Chief James Craig is working the case and believes he is connected to the current cases that they have on file, and that another woman in her 50s was also attacked and she survived. And that assault took place on June 3rd at the same location as the third slaying on Mack Avenue near Mount Elliott. And there may be a fourth woman from Ferndale who was killed. So I guess the lady whose name hasn't been given from the Ferndale area, they're trying to tie that into him. And I believe that's the lady who he was seen in public drinking with last year. Okay, the suspect targets sex workers, and his signature is modus operandi. Obviously, he's luring these women for sex into abandoned buildings. So he had an MO that he used to get close to these women. And the women, all except for one that got away, this the 26-year-old that got away, he tends to target older women that were in their 50s. These were the women who were found slain. Okay. They have reported 2 interactions in Ferndale pertaining to the missing lady as of last year. The name of the ladies are Nancy Harris, 52, who was found deceased in the on March 19th, the 2000 block of Coventry. Travisine Ellis was 53 years of age. She was found May 24th in the 13,000 block of Lyndhurst. A third victim was 52. No information has been released on this lady's identification. He has been known to frequent the east side of Detroit and was rendered a homeless person. Mike Duggan, the mayor of Detroit, had officers search abandoned buildings on, I guess, the east side of Detroit to see if they could find more victims. And he has also solicited the city in getting funds to help board up and tear down vacant buildings. So he is asking for a $200,000 bond so he can eliminate the blight that is going on currently in Detroit. Now, for some of you who do not keep up with true crime in America, there was a gentleman by the name of Anthony Sowell. He was a rapist, a serial killer of Cleveland, Ohio, years back. And he would basically do the same thing. He would target women, street women, lure them into his home because he would sit out on his front porch and drink beer or whatever. And he would lure the women in with beer or maybe drugs. Naturally, they would follow if they're into that behavior. And he would somehow things would go terribly wrong inside the home and he would murder them. The crazy part about it, besides him murdering these women, he buried them there inside of the house. He would leave them there. And the crazy thing about it is he was a sexual offender on the register. So he got, visits from the state or whatever to come by, check on him. But they could not enter his home, okay, because he wasn't on probation or parole. So one day he allegedly rapes a woman and she goes to the police and she files a complaint. They come to serve the warrant and voila. What do you think they smelled? And that's how they found out about the other women. It's because they went with a warrant and they smelled the decay, of course, did the search, and boom, they found these other ladies he had stored in his home. And this was a famous case because a lot of people, they did, true crime shows about it, documentaries or whatever. And there was a meat company that was like maybe right across the street. And that same meat company had been cited with having odors that was, contaminating the neighborhood. And so they complied with the city and cleaned up their drain system and all that. But all along, it was not the sausage company or whatever. It was his house. It was his house, Mr. Sowell's house. The smell was coming from his house because he had dead women in there. So this just shows you how crazy this Midwest, I don't know what's going on in the Midwest, Ohio, Michigan, with these men luring women and killing them. But it's crazy. But this Mr. Martin, the current guy we're talking about, that's 34 years of age, a black male, he was targeting older women in Detroit, east side of Detroit, and luring them to abandoned buildings and killing them. And I think what is so sad, just like with the Sowell case in Cleveland, Ohio, they've got this fetish, this hatred for women, because it's obvious. Anything to me personally, raping, murdering, strangulation, all that, you've got some hatred for women. There's no way you can try to tell me, okay, it's just about the power, because you hear that a lot from therapists and experts. They give their expertise on rape, that the men rape because of a power struggle. They want to be in control. Well, I also say that you would have to dislike women. Now, some rapists have said that they loved women. They loved everything about a woman. But there's no way you can say you love a woman and you would rape her, strangle her, torture her, bury her, cut her up, whatever you choose to do with her body during and after the fact. It's sad and it's sickening. And I think what's going to be more disturbing with this Deangelo Kenneth Martin is that they're going to find some more women in the city of Detroit in vacant buildings. And it's gonna be bad, and trying to identify them will be the worst because after so much time has elapsed, the body deteriorates and it's down to bones, and then you're gonna have to send those remains off for testing and try to locate next of kin so you can identify these people. But I think it's so sad that this man was this young, and the only thing he could think to do as a homeless person is lure women for sex and then kill them. I mean, it's just sad. And I believe in an article I read the other day, yes, he would leave a used condom at the scene of each victim. Now you put that on paper. A homeless man raping older women who were old enough to be his mother, and he would use a condom and leave it, like the calling card they would say, to let you know, yeah, I was here. I even used a condom. And so what? This is just another baffling, baffling story. And it's sad because no matter what choices these women made, no matter how they decided to live their lives, no one had the right to take their life. Nobody had the right to take their life. And you find this very prevalent in America. Street women, sex traffickers, sex workers, whatever title you want to give them, drug addicts, whatever, that they deserve this. That's some people's thoughts. I think more men than women. And a lot of the men who have killed them have said that. Well, they weren't nobody. They were just garbage. They were out there. They wanted it. Why would they be out there? No decent woman would be walking the street. Well, no decent man would be partaking with a prostitute and lure her to her death. So what are you saying about yourself? Because you sound like a fool to say she didn't have any value because she chose to be a prostitute. Well, you didn't have any value to go take up with her to have sex and or kill her or both. Praying for you, Detroit, because you have enough problems already trying to get your city rebuilt from all the terrible things that's happened with the economic fall and the of the city with the car plants, and now the impoverished people, homeless people, the crime. Detroit has enough on their plate, and this is just something worse to add on. But I pray that no more women are found, and if they are, that they're recovered and located and given a name. And this man, hell, give him the death chair. It won't bother me none. Won't bother me none at all. Praying for you, Detroit, and praying for these ladies and their families. Drop your comments below and tell me what you think. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.